Okay, so this is let's talk about it in Kitely, as you can see, and well, I hope you can see because I've changed the world setting for the sun to be midnight. So, where are we, and what can you see around you?
There's a bonfire just
There's a
in front of me.
bonfire. Yeah, that's very noticeable.
Yeah,
On a
indeed.
cliff. Yeah, so why might we have a bonfire on a cliff? Any guesses?
Yeah, about to jump off the cliff.
I know it, Lynn.
Go on! Go on,
Today
Tram.
is the 21st, and it is summer solstice.
It
Solstice,
is
isn't it?
indeed. It is indeed summer solstice. And yeah, you could say we're celebrating summer solstice, but then I'd probably take us to Stonehenge. So no, because we did that before, and I might do it in a couple of years' time again. Remember, we went to Glastonbury as well a couple of last year, wasn't it? We were in Glastonbury, sort of. So yes, but no. Yes, you're right. It is the summer solstice. Bang your drums, dance around the bonfire. But no, we're on a cliff. The bonfire's on the cliff. Seagrass and fire, yeah, dangerous indeed. With this drought, it could be dangerous. I mean, don't no naked flames in a drought. So what do you think the bonfire might be for, as it's placed so close to the edge of the cliff? Any ideas? Try taking try taking the mic.
Sacrifice.
Marco. No, human sacrifice, no. But there might be some kind of danger here, actually. Okay, I'm going to because I'm streaming, I'm not sure if people will be able to read the chat. Yeah, I might be burning my exam papers, but no, that's not it. Very good. I love it. What might be dangerous about bonfire next to a cliff? What might be not dangerous about it?
For
Any?
the ships, for the bigger ships who are coming in,
Yeah, for
that
ships, for
those are
shipping.
coming in.
Yeah, what might we use it for? For shipping, Traum.
What do you mean, Lynn? Sorry.
Well, what use would a
Um,
bonfire be for shipping? They're out at sea. Why would they need a bonfire?
yes, because underneath the sea there could be rocks, and the captain doesn't see, and the crew doesn't see what's under the sea, and so they build lighthouses. And maybe you have chosen this fire instead of a lighthouse.
Very good. Spot on. Yeah. So what we're doing is what we've got here is basically a very old-fashioned lighthouse. Now, has anybody ever been to a lighthouse? Has anybody ever seen a lighthouse? No? Okay. No Marco, no Riemann, no Traum, no Tough Guy, no Monique. Really? My goodness, I'm really surprised. I'm very surprised. I had expected people to be saying, oh, yes, went to them all the time as a child, that kind of thing. But no, definitely not. Okay. Well, I guess we'd better read about them then. Okay. So, let me see. Who's for reading. Who said hello to me first? I've got yesterday's chat for some reason still. I think, let me see. Okay, Shiny, you were the first person to say hello in chat. It's the only way I can tell. So I got a hi Lynn from Shiny in chat. Then April, then Marco, Rima.
What about me?
I know. I think you lucked out. You said hello to me in voice.
Yeah.
Then
No, I
Monique.
say hello to you and Shiny.
Then
No.
Traum. And then Tough Guy. I don't think he's even said hello in chat yet. I'm not sure.
No, I forgot that.
Oh, you forgot. It's okay.
we were
Just
having
make
a
sure at
birthday
the
party.
end. Okay, I can see a hi now. Okay, good. You did say hi. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll post up your reading, okay, because it's in a Google Doc. But Shiny, are you okay to read? Are you ready? Oh, Shiny?
Yes.
Okay, good, you're there.
I'm listening.
Phew! Don't do that to me. Okay, I'll swap you around. That's very kind of you, Marco. That's very nice of you, Rima. Okay, so Shiny, there's your text, okay?
A lighthouse. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Shiny,
My mic was off. Sorry.
the enthusiasm.
Lighthouses. A lighthouse is a tower, building, or other type of structure designed to emit light from a system of lamps and lenses, and to serve as a navigational aid for sailors at sea. Lighthouses mark dangerous coastlines, hazardous shoals, reefs, and safe entries to harbors, and can assist in aerial navigation. Once widely used, the number of operational lighthouses has declined due to the expense of maintenance and use of electronic navigational systems. In the past, mariners were guided by fires built on hilltops, since raising the fire would improve the visibility. Placing the fire on the platform became a practice that led to the development of the lighthouse. In antiquity, the lighthouse functioned more as an entrance marker to ports than as a warning signal for reefs and promontories. Unlike many modern lighthouses.
Very good. So a few tricky words in there. Let's go through the text first, the individual words. Okay, so we've got the verb to emit. Emit. Try it.
Emit.
Emit. Yes, if you emit something, it's coming out. Okay, it's going. So you emit light through the window. Your house may emit heat if it's not very well lagged. So to emit. Okay, not M. It's I. Emit. Okay. Emit. Okay.
Thank you.
So. A lot of people worry about microwaves emitting radiation. Okay, if you want to see it in a sort of more modern day context, people often talk about microwaves emitting radiation. But they're so handy. To illuminate, no. To illuminate is, if you remember our sessions on light, that comes from lumen, yeah, the measure of light. So illuminate is all about light, to light up something. So the bonfire is illuminating this area. It's very dark, but the bonfire's illuminating the area. It's emitting light. Okay. Yeah, like the bug with a light on its butt. Anybody know what the bug with a light on its butt is called? You can sometimes see them, even in Germany. I love them. I love them.
Fireflies.
Fireflies.
The fireflies?
That's it. Yeah, the fireflies. But we knew what you meant, Shiny. Okay. Next word. Sailors. Sailors. To sail. Yeah, that's a verb. And someone who sails is a sailor.
Sailor.
Sailor with an O. Sailor.
Sailor.
That's it. Nice long A sound. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Next, we've got this word you do need to practice. Practice makes perfect. Try it.
Practice.
That's it. Then the next one, nice little aging word, antiquity. Antiquity. Long time ago. Yeah. So try it.
Antiquity.
That's it. In antiquity. Basically a long time ago. Over 100 years, because of course an antique. You've got an antique. It's something over 100 years old. And then the last one, oh my goodness, what a horrible word to give you. But it does belong on vocabulary about the coast. A promontory. Yeah? A promontory. So, promontories.
Promontories.
Yes. So, promontories, plural, or a promontory, singular. So, any high point of land that goes into the water beyond the coast. A headland, there's lots of other words for it. A bluff. But it's got to be going out into the sea or out into the body of water. Okay? A promontory.
It's not a cliff, Lynn.
No. A promontory might have a cliff, but not necessarily. It could also be almost at sea level, just a piece of land sticking out. But yes, it could be part of a cliff, but not necessarily. Okay? Normally what it is narrow and high, but it sticks out into the sea. So yeah, it could include cliffs, but it could also just be a rounded piece of land sticking out. Okay. Headland is another word for it. So, any questions about that part of the text?
How can a lighthouse tell the ships that that there is a shoals? Because it could be also like here, the water is the same depth as the water just near the cliff or near this hill is just even deep as the sea.
Is
It's not
as deep, or is
as deep as yeah.
deep as the sea. Okay, well that's why this light is on the cliff. Now it's not necessarily going to warn the ships exactly what's coming, but it does warn them that there's some kind of danger. And it also, if you notice, it marks the entrance into the harbour. So if the ship knows the light should be there, when they see the light, they know, okay, there's the light. We need to go a little bit to the left and then we're in safe harbour, or not, which we will come to in a minute, okay? Okay, so let's see. April, are you ready to read?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let me give you your text. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay, where is it? The most famous lighthouse structure from antiquity was the Pharos of Alexandria, Egypt, although it collapsed during an earthquake centuries later. The Tower of Hercules in Spain gives an insight into how ancient lighthouses were built. It's the world's oldest lighthouse that is still in working condition. Wrecking. Wrecking is the practice of taking valuables from a shipwreck which has foundered close to shore, a bit like finders keepers, but it has more sinister overtones too. Legend has it that some people would deliberately decoy ships onto the rocks using false lights. The ship would run aground and be plundered. As recently as the 19th century in some parts of the world, wrecking was the mainstay of poor coastal communities. Wrecking was well known in Devon and Cornwall, where the rocky coastline and strong prevailing onshore winds helped wreck many merchant ships and warships. In 1735, a law was passed to make it an offense to make false lights, but no one was prosecuted. So they do that deliberately, just
Yeah,
do the
exactly,
fraud there.
Rima. Yes, Poldark. Okay,
Yes, they plunder everything
that's it.
in this episode.
Now, does anybody know what people who do this are called? There is actually a term, a word that you can use to describe the people who do this. So, wrecking is the verb to wreck, yeah, to wreck. Now, to wreck something can mean to ruin it, to destroy it. Wrecking in this context is specifically to do with plundering ships, plundering the goods off wrecks. Yeah, wrecker, that's it, Rima, well done. The wreckers, these were the people who allegedly, deliberately drove ships on aground and would then plunder the ship, plunder the cargo of the ship. Okay. You just guessed. Well, it was a good guess.
But it was logical, as you say,
exactly.
wrecking to wreck.
That's it. Accounting, accountant. Wrecking, no, wrecker. Teaching, teacher. That's better. That's a better example. To teach, teaching, teacher. To wreck, wrecking, a wrecker. Very good. It's good to work things out like that for yourself. So, Monique, Marco has swapped with you. So, if you would like to read, or are there? No, we didn't do the. Sorry, we didn't do the corrections yet. So let's start with. There's only a couple actually. April, well done. The first one, we don't say valuables. It's just valuables. Okay, there's no stress on the in the middle. It's just valuables. Okay.
Valuables.
Valuables. Yeah, well done. It's very valuable. They are valuables. Okay, so slightly silent A in the middle. Okay. Then the other one, which you do have a tendency to do, I'm not sure. Oh no, first this one. So you've got a decoy, yeah, and to decoy. A decoy to decoy. Try it, to decoy somebody. A decoy duck.
A decoy and to decoy.
To decoy, yeah, that's it. A decoy to decoy. The same pronunciation, just very, very slightly different stress. Okay, so in the sentence, it would be, legend has it that some people would deliberately decoy ships onto the rocks using false lights. And that's what we're doing here, by the way. We are wreckers today. We've lit an illegal bonfire to try and decoy some ships onto the rocks.
That's not my idea, please. It's your teacher's idea. I am not to blame.
Okay, I'll ask you to take the mic in a moment, Rima. Let me just do the last word for April. This is the one you're often getting wrong. It's not low, it's law, like or.
Okay, I know that
I know,
I
but
had
your
problem
brain
with
kind of
this.
goes. I mean, I
And I
sometimes think,
thought
did
that I
hear
have
that?
done it well.
Did I hear that, or am I actually listening out for it? Law. I fought the law, and the law won. Okay, Marco, take the mic. That's the one, Rima. Yay! That's it. I fought the law, and the law won. They always do.
Yeah,
so, Rima,
that's great song.
it is.
Yes, but this decoy, how?
Decoy.
What is the word
Not
when
decoy.
decoy?
Decoy.
Decoy. Okay, but what is like when something is rotten it start
Decayed.
decoying? How do?
Decay.
What's the word?
Decoy.
Decay.
Yeah.
Decay.
Decay. A
Okay.
sound. Decoy. Oi.
Yeah.
Sound. Okay.
Okay. And what is like decoy is to make something, make someone fool or something,
Yeah,
like
to fool somebody's
make a
senses.
fraud.
I said decoy duck, and quite a lot of hunters will have a plastic or a wooden duck. And what they'll do is they'll float it around in the water in front of them as a decoy, and the other ducks will see that wooden or plastic duck and think, oh, there's a duck, they must be eating, it must mean it's safe to fly in there. And they'll come in, and then the hunter will shoot them. And that's a decoy duck. Okay? Like bait, yes. Almost like bait, but it's more trying to fool somebody into thinking something's different to what it is. Bait is more to tempt somebody. Okay, so bait would be putting bread out for the ducks. But the decoy duck is there to fool them into thinking it's safe. Okay? Okay, so no questions? Any other questions?
The mainstay is a bread.
Yeah, this is
For
a
the
little bit of
horse?
nautical terminology coming into the English language. So it can be on a sailing ship, but in this context, it's something that is relied on. So the mainstay of the Learn English Network. What's the mainstay of the Learn English Network? It's not really me. I would say it's the members who participate. That's the mainstay of the Learn English Network, the thing that keeps everything going. Okay?
Not the fundament, not the base. No.
Well, it could be fundamental in a way. You wouldn't say fundament, though. No, definitely not. Look that one up online. But it basically, you might have a community, and the mainstay of the community is a local factory. It's the thing that keeps the community going. Without that factory, the community would die. All the young people would move away to look for work elsewhere. And so that factory becomes the mainstay of that community. Okay?
But Lynn, can maybe a person be the mainstay of I don't know, a company, organization, or
Yeah, because it's
place?
like saying the chief supports. Yeah? I mean, customers are normally the mainstay of organisations.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of bosses think they're the mainstay of an organisation, or a lot of employees might think they're the mainstay, but really it's the customers that are. Let's not get into management theory. It's not necessarily a source of income though, because otherwise my example of the Learn English Network would fall over. It's about what keeps things going, what keeps things together. And you can use it in many different contexts and idiomatically as well, of course. Okay, so yes, it could be a source of income. It could also be a source of food, a source of sustenance, a source of support. Okay? Okay. Exactly. One's a nickname, though. One's a title. The other one's more of a nickname. Okay.
But yes, actually, Andros Polder has also the same. He is a miner and he is a wrecker.
Yep. That's it. He's also a landowner and a mine owner.
Oh, and they are also poachers.
Yeah,
They
and
steal
poachers. That's it.
pheasants.
Life was
Yeah.
tough back then. Life was tough back then. If you wanted to feed your family and children, and that the society was set up in such a way as to try and stop you from doing so, then you had to find ways around it. And that often involved risking your life or your liberty in order to get round the rules and regulations. It's one of the mainstays of one of the founding reasons of having a social system. Actually, is just not push people into that situation. Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that it's not about giving something for nothing. It's about having a fair and equal society, so people don't feel pushed into doing the wrong thing or the right thing. Let's not get into morality. Okay, so Monique, Rima's swapped with you, so if you would like to read the next piece of the text, if there are no more questions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marco. In 1769, William Pierce was hanged at Launceston in Cornwall for stealing from a wreck. It was not until after a case in the Court of Appeal in 1870 that rewards were offered for rescuing people. Wrecking was a major industry in the 19th century, and wreckers would attempt to frighten off the curious, suspicious, or unwanted visitors by spreading wild rumors concerning supernatural activity, ghosts, and cannibals, as occurred in Clovelly near their wrecking sites. It was also a major activity of the inhabitants of Stroma Island in the Pentland Firth of the north of Scotland, and well known on the Goodwin Sands of the southeast of England, where over 2,000 wrecks have occurred. The boatmen of Deal, who took supplies to ships to anchor off the coast, would plunder any wrecked vessel. Another area where wrecking was prevalent was the Wirral Peninsula near Liverpool, where wrecking continued to be reported into the early 20th century.
Very good. Well done.
I don't know some names there, sorry.
Yeah, no, you had a lot of names there. Bad luck.
Yeah, not familiar.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the UK is an island, And so we've got so much coastline. Yeah, we're basically made up of coastline with a bit of land stuffed in the middle. And so this wrecking, there's areas with many horrendous stories about wrecking and, killing the survivors because they didn't want witnesses to the plunder. So, your ship would be wrecked. You'd make your way to the beach. You'd think, oh, thank goodness I'm safe. And then somebody would smash your brains out with a rock because they didn't want any survivors so that they could plunder at will and nobody would be alive to tell the tale, which is where the rewards, which brings me to the first word for you, Monique, rewards. Careful that you don't say reword. Rewards.
Rewards.
Yeah, to reward somebody. That suddenly rescuing people became something that you could make money off. So instead of bashing their brains out or just leaving them to drown or die of exposure, it was actually worth rescuing people. I'm not saying everybody did that. I mean, Captain Poldark would never do that. He rescued people. He tried to stop the... not stop the plundering, but he tried to change people into, plunder, but save the people too. And the Birmingham Navy in the middle. Well, the concept of the Birmingham Navy, Rima, is a modern day phenomena because people didn't have the leisure time to go out and they didn't have rubber dinghies back then either. So, although I'm sure people built rafts and other silly things that got them into trouble on the sea. Okay, the other word is just from to occur. When something happens, it occurs or it occurred. It's more of an than an o. Occurred. Try it.
Occurred.
That's it. Good. So all round the coast and up until the 20th century, this was happening. Not necessarily the deliberate wrecking of boats, but certainly the plunder. And, well, has it finished? I don't know. Have any of you ever heard of this kind of thing happening? A ship running aground and everybody going and taking whatever they can find, whatever they can grab hold of?
Is a kind of piratery.
Yeah, it's almost like piratery, but with pirates it's slightly different in that the pirates would normally board the vessel, okay? So pirates would try to take over the vessel. The wrecking is more the vessel's already ruined, it's already destroyed, and what you're after is what's on the ship. You want the goods, you want the merchandise that was on the ship. Pirates kind of want the ship and they want to hold it hostage or they want to steal the goods, but they take over the ship, if you see what I mean. So piracy is more at sea, wrecking is along the coast, if that helps.
Yeah.
And it's much easier.
I think when there are the people who live on land, and they see there is floating a wreck close to the coastline, and nobody knows who is the owner. What's wrong on taking off the things who are on the ship? I mean,
finders keepers.
They are, yeah. Finders, yeah. I mean, they are poor and there floated a ship loaded with expensive things. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. But, of course, that's not how the law works. Okay, so, Rima, are you ready to read? Because we've got a little example of this, actually.
Yeah, but what Lynn, I didn't. Wrecking was a major industry in the 19th century, and wreckers would attempt to frighten off the curious, suspicious, or unwanted visitors. But why does it frighten off mean like to scare them, not to board to their shores? What does it mean? Like they just didn't want to see them on.
We're wreckers, okay? We've built our bonfire. What we don't want is some curious passerby to come and see what we're doing, what we're getting up to. So we tell everybody in the area that this part of the coast is haunted, or this part of the coast has a family of cannibals that will capture and eat you if you walk along here. And so people don't pass by because they're frightened of the area. A lot of Cornish ghost stories were made up in order to keep people away. Okay?
But it could spread on. They will lose their business, like, because that will not only pass on authorities or someone, people of law or something like it. That it will also be spread it on their victims, their possible victims. Like
Possibly,
they
but
could
not
hurt
quite,
also.
because I don't know if you've ever been out at sea, but one of the biggest problems when you're out at sea before the invention of navigation systems was to know where the hell you were. Okay, so the victims
Yes,
would still
everything is the
come.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been
Okay.
out at sea
Yes,
in a
yes.
small boat at night. It's bizarre, and you can even imagine you see things. And they believed back then, yes, people believed that sort of thing. We didn't have Snopes back then to look into these things. We didn't have Britain's Most Haunted to investigate them. People believed in ghosts, schoolies, long-legged beasties, and things that go bump in the night. They really did. Okay, Rima, are you okay to read now?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Lynn, onshore winds, is that the wind that come from the sea or from the land? Onshore
hang on a
winds.
second. I'm just trying to get this up. So the function of lighthouses shifted toward. Okay. Sorry, I've got one thing at a time. So an onshore wind is the wind that's coming towards the shore, so from the sea. An offshore wind is pushing away from land. Okay. Did you hear me?
Yes, okay, thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. It's blowing from the water into the land, and of course the opposite, offshore, is blowing from the land out to sea. And in fact, it's onshore wind. I think it's the onshore winds that they really want for the along the coast of the UK nowadays. You'll see lots of wind farms because they're trying to make use of all that wind that we get. I could do with some wind today, though. It's so hot here. Okay, Rima, whenever you're ready, if you'd like to start reading.
Okay. In 2005, the BBC documentary Coast successfully replicated the conditions of false light wrecking in an experiment which suggested that a single candle lantern onshore would be sufficient to lure a boat into dangerous water on a dark night. In 2007, the container ship MSC Napoli went aground off Branscombe Beach in Devon. Some of its cargo was washed ashore and many wreckers plundered the cargo in spite of attempts to prevent this. People came long distances to retrieve such things as BMW motorcycles. Goods from wrecks are supposed by law to be reported to the receiver of wreck, and finders will then be given a reward. Today, the modern era of lighthouses began at the turn of the 18th century, as lighthouse construction boomed in step with burgeoning levels of transatlantic commerce. Advances in structural engineering and new and efficient lighting equipment allowed for the creation of larger and more powerful lighthouses, including ones exposed to the sea. The function of lighthouses shifted toward the provision of a visible warning against shipping hazards such as rocks or reefs.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so rather than trying to attract ships, lighthouses were really trying to direct ships. Very nicely read, well done. Okay, so the MSC Napoli was a very famous case. So the MSC Napoli, okay.
Shall I repeat?
Yep, if you just say MSC
Oh,
Napoli.
okay.
Yep,
MSC Napoli.
good. And then
Napoli in Italy.
yeah, exactly. And then the word coast with a long O, coast.
Coast.
That's it.
Coast.
The coast, the coastline. And then allowed, ow, not allowed.
Allowed.
Yeah. And the law.
Allowed. Law.
So the
Law.
law allowed the coast to be the law allowed the coast to be.
I'm not sure that because I first time that I met this word. Just a second. Burgeoning. Did I pronounce
Burgeoning.
it?
Oh yes, a great word. One of my favourites. Okay, if you burgeon something, okay, if you burgeon some situation, if you like, then it's developing very, very quickly. Okay. So
Rapidly.
yeah, very
rapid
rapidly.
developing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay. And so a burgeoning economy is growing rapidly, or the internet is, yeah, I guess the internet is, the number of people on the internet is burgeoning. The burgeoning communications industry. I'm just trying to find it in the text. Hang on a second.
I found when I asked and I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In step with the burgeoning levels of transatlantic commerce. So, the number of ships trading across from America was growing rapidly. Okay, because of the development of better ships, faster ships, it improved commerce, which meant, a burgeoning economy too. Not many people have a burgeoning economy at the moment, but back then it was, okay?
And boomed in is like pop up sudden. What boomed in? Like to emerge also rapidly.
Okay,
What
yeah,
boomed in?
it's not boomed in, it's not a phrasal verb. It's boomed in step. So the phrasal there is in step with. Okay? So, yeah, like the baby boom. The baby boom boomed in step with the pill, if you remember. So there was a burgeoning population once the pill became available. Actually, it's strange that, isn't it? You'd think it would fall, but no, seemingly not. Okay, so to boom in step with means if you're in step with something, you're sort of doing things at the same time. So here there was a correlation. The construction of the lighthouses was directly linked to the increase in commerce. Okay? So if you're in step with something, then you are doing things in relation to what happens, yeah? So if you're in step with something, you're doing something at the same time.
Like synchronized.
In the same way. Yeah, like synchronized, yes. Yeah. So when you're dancing, you dance in step to the music, yeah? But if you're also in step with, I don't know, if you're in step with changes, technology, then you're able to make use of that technology because you're not falling behind. It doesn't mean to say you're doing it well, it just means you're trying. I try to keep in step with technology. But sometimes it doesn't work. Some people might say I'm out of step. Okay. Any other questions? So could you read out that sentence for me, Rima, in case you think I'd forgotten?
Oh, I thought that you forgot about my step. I just typed the message.
I
Forgot
forget the
something.
difference. I might forget the difference between Bundesrat and Bundestag, but I won't forget when you've got to read
Oh,
a sentence.
nothing can
Go
pass
on, give it
by
a go.
you.
Give it a go.
Okay. The law allowed the coast to be developed.
Perfect. Perfect. Well done. Yay. Don't know why you were worried. Okay, any questions? Any more questions? Then the next question.
But just the word before, the sentence before that, people came long distances to retrieve such things as BMW motorcycles. Retrieve, doesn't it mean to save, to
These
put it in
words.
safety?
Okay. To retrieve, yeah, you could retrieve something for somebody else. Like the retriever, the dog, which goes to fetch a stick and brings it back to its master. It's a bit of play on words, to retrieve. I was just retrieving this BMW officer. I was just saving it. That's where this idea of plunder versus salvage. Okay.
In this
bye,
case, is it for
Monique.
themselves?
Take care. Good luck.
Monique. Elliot?
Okay, let me just get rid of the little texts coming my way. Oh, cancel. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. So, sorry, April, again. If you could repeat that, I was getting Monique sending me little messages.
So retrieve here is, in this case, in this context, is to save, but for themselves. It's not
For
just
themselves,
really.
exactly, yes.
Okay.
And that's exactly, if you look it up online, some of the news reports from the time, it was all over the press. And people did behave quite atrociously, it has to be said. They were very naughty. They were retrieving a lot of stuff. Okay, so, Traum. I think it's your turn to read.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Bear with me a second. Don't start reading yet. I've just got a little bit more for you. Okay, Trell.
Okay. Winstanley's Lighthouse, the Eddystone Rocks, mark the beginning in a new phase of lighthouse development. The Eddystone Rocks were a major shipwreck hazard for mariners sailing through the English Channel. The first lighthouse built there was an octagonal wooden structure anchored by 12 iron stanchions secured in the rock, and was built by Henry Winstanley from 1696 to 1698. His lighthouse was the first tower in the world to have been fully exposed to the open sea. However, the civil engineer John Smeaton rebuilt the lighthouse from 1756 to 59. The design was a great step forward, and this lighthouse became the prototype for the modern lighthouse and influenced all subsequent engineers. In a lighthouse, the source of light is called the lamp, whether electric or fueled by oil, originally lit by open fires and later candles. Whale oil was also used with wicks as the source of light. Kerosene became popular in the 1870s, and electricity and carbide style gas began replacing kerosene.
Very good, well done. Oh, you got some nasty little chemical words there, didn't you? Okay, but well done. You did kerosene completely correctly. Kerosene. So you get a smiley for that one, okay? So kerosene. Okay.
And by the way, I admire the man who built the very first lighthouse in England, or I think it was in the world, because he had paid it all by himself, because the government didn't him give any money, and he did it because he was the owner of many ships, and lots of which ships wrecked because of not seeing reefs and cliffs and so on.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, there was purpose behind what he did, but you can't take away from the fact that he came up with the idea of having a permanent structure and what they call manned lighthouses, which we'll probably talk about next week because we are running out of time. So let's just look at your
lines of mistakes, say
no,
it, Clint.
not lines of mistakes at all, not at all. So the first one, allowed.
Oh, allowed.
Yeah. And then
allowed.
Wands, not once, wands.
Wands.
That's it. Then hazard, again, hazard. You've got to get that z sound, hazard.
Is it a soft or strong?
Strong z. It's a z.
Okay.
So it's a real z.
Yes.
Hazard.
Hazard.
You're still saying
better?
A little bit, but better, but work on it. Hazard. If you can, I'll hazard a guess. So it's more of a z, still more buzz. Okay. The next one.
Hazard.
We do say marine, but mariner. Mariners.
Oh. Mariners.
Yeah.
Mariners.
Okay. Then we've got octagonal.
This time I get it step by step, so it
Octagonal.
doesn't look so awful. Oh, really? I didn't pay attention. Please repeat it.
Octagonal.
Octagonal.
Yes.
Octagonal.
Oct being what number? Does oct normally denote?
10. 10.
Octopus? Yeah, that's it, April. Well done. 8. Octopuses have 8 legs. October. Nice guess, but no. Sorry. Maybe it was. Remember, the calendar changed. Maybe it once was the 8th month, but no longer. It's the 10th. So think of octopus rather than October. Okay, it'll be more useful. Okay, the next one. When you say civil engineer, the civil engineer, it's actually it is a job title. It's a profession to be a civil engineer. So it goes together. Yeah, try it.
The civil engineer.
Very good. Well done. And then brings us to the last one, which is engineers. Engineers.
Shall I hear E or A?
Ear.
That's the question.
Like ear. Engineers.
Engineers.
Yeah, and
engineers.
N at the beginning, I tend to say engineer. Now, I think I
engineer.
think if you were to look at an American, they probably do say engineer. But I'm British.
Engineer.
I say engineer. I have heard Americans say engineer, but honestly, N is better. Engineers.
Okay,
Okay.
now it's clear. I keep on your pronunciation, so I say engineer.
Well,
Engineer.
that's what I figured. Okay, so tough guy. We'll have to be very quick because we're running out of time. Are you ready to read?
Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome. Tough.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry,
No. Yeah.
Rima. Wands. Okay. Wands, not once. So, tough guy, here's your text. Okay.
Okay. Okay, the lens in the past, lenses were used to concentrate the light from a continuous source. The light is focused into one or a few directions at a time, with the light beam sweeping round and round. As a result, in addition to seeing the side of the light beam, the light is directly visible from greater distances and with an identifying light characteristic. In early lighthouses, the light source was a kerosene lamp, or earlier an animal or vegetable oil argand lamp, and the lenses rotated by a weight-driven clockwork assembly wound by lighthouse keepers sometimes as often as every 2 hours. The lens assembly sometimes floated in liquid mercury to reduce friction. In more modern lighthouses, electric lights and motor drives were used, generally powered by diesel-electric generators. These also supplied electricity for the lighthouse keepers.
Yeah, if you could just go down a bit and read in modern, just past
Okay.
Rima's post. He interrupted my post and my cut and paste.
Okay, in modern automated lighthouses, the system of rotating lenses is often replaced by a high-intensity light and emits uh, brief, omnidirectional flashes concentrating the light in time rather than the direction. These lights are similar to obstructions lights used to warn aircraft of tall structures.
Very good. Yeah, obstruction lights. We do have these lights on the top of tall buildings, you might have seen. Or nowadays, often on top, which are really freaky, on top of wind turbines. You see them all in a row. It's like the Eye of Sauron or something. Very well read. Well done, tough guy. Okay, just the one word I would say you need to work on a little bit to sound more natural. Okay, and that's vegetable. Okay, so we've got vegetable, not table.
Okay.
Veggie. It's vegetable. Often the E in the middle, as you can see, is more of a j. Vegetable. Try it.
Vegetable.
Yes. And if you don't like that, just say veggie. Which is sort of short form for vegetable. Eat your veg. Veg as well. Yeah, eat your veg. Do you want any veggies with that? Much easier to say. Okay, so we'll stop there. Next week we'll talk about the lighthouse keeper and a little bit of mythology surrounding the lighthouse. Okay, so I hope you'll be able to take part next week, and I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll be in Kitely in quarter of an hour. The webinar in quarter of an hour. Okay, so same link as last time. No need to change the link. Okay, you're welcome. Take care. Thanks for coming. Thanks for taking part. Bye.